The true face of homelessness.
We're still in a homeless situation, and I am in very desperate need for housing.
Is mothers with children, fathers with children, who have no place to go.
In Morris Square, in the little, like across the street from Morris Square, they have that little park area that's open. We were in there at least 2 out of 3 nights. I just looked around and I was like, I can't believe that we're actually spending the night outside. I just sat there the whole night, closed my eyes for a little bit, but I didn't ever go to sleep because, come on, we're outside. I don't know what's gonna happen. When you're sleeping out there, you don't know what the next person is thinking. He's crying, he wants to go in the house, he wants to lay down, he's tired. And I really didn't know what to say to him. Like, we don't have a home. That was the worst experience of my life.
We were living, a good life. I was doing HVAC work and making a decent living. I injured one knee and then, injured the other one trying to continue to work. I went to the doctor and they told me I had injured my knees and what I had done. And I reported that to my boss. And he immediately told me, well, I don't need you. For 1 minute I was employed, gainfully employed, and went from that to no employment and nowhere to look for work. By this time, I'm 3 months behind in rent, I'm 2 months behind in electric. I'm sinking, and I'm sinking fast.
My journey, I think it first began really long before I ever even came to North Carolina. I think it started in 1995. I was diagnosed with severe clinical depression, and I ended up losing my job because of it, which then led to me losing my apartment. Then I moved in with my sister, had my daughter, but during that time, somehow the apartment management found out that I was living there and I was not on the lease because of the problems that I'd had previously. I left money owing on another apartment complex. I couldn't get my own apartment. The first thing I did was I went to look at a shelter, and that was pretty scary. I said, oh my gosh, yeah, they lock it up at night, but, look at the people that are down here. It's dark. It was just really scary. And then my daughter and I would have been in a big room with other women and their children, no privacy. Everything's all in one room. All the beds are all lined up in one room and all the dressers, but I couldn't do it. I was thinking, my daughter and I are going to be sleeping in the car before we sleep in this shelter. Being a single parent and not having a place of your own is extremely scary. Knowing that at any moment, somebody could ask you to leave, which is basically what happened to us. It was really scary.
I was working at first, and it was hard to find childcare for my baby. When I called out from work, my job wasn't too pleased with that. Me coming in when I wanted to, when I had a babysitter, and then when I didn't have a babysitter, just calling out again. So they finally got tired of it and they let me go. And then from there, it was just like everything went downhill. Before I knew it, it was all gone. I had notices for the lights, notices for the rent. Everything's piled up at once. I'm trying to take care of this. I'm trying to take care of that. And him at the same time. And it just, before I knew it, everything was gone. It went from, living in a nice 2-bedroom to the next thing I know, me and my son sitting on a bench at Morris Square, and I'm trying to rock him to sleep. When I walked through the door, she just made me feel so at home. In the back of my head, I'm like, oh God, she's gonna help me. I finally met a lady that's gonna help me.
She said, yeah, we have an apartment and we've been trying to get a hold of you.
Oh my gosh. Once I was accepted into the program and my daughter and I moved our stuff in, to me, that was the start of our future.
And I was so happy. I mean, I sat over on the couch and I just rocked, and I was like, oh my gosh, she doesn't understand how happy I am.
My wife went down there and filled out the paperwork while I was at work, and they gave her the key. And that week we moved in, and the kids came home the next weekend.
Getting into the program and then getting a car was like, oh yeah, I can do this.
Now we have a new start, and now we have a new home, and we don't have to sleep outside anymore. Like the first day we came in the house, and I was like, baby, I said, this is your room. And the difference in his face expression from me rocking him on that bench was like overwhelming to me.
It was a huge sense of relief. At least we were all together, and at least I knew we had a roof over our head for a while. And at least I knew now I could concentrate on doing what I needed to do. I could buckle down and work on getting out of the hole and not just surviving. PLM hasn't stopped helping us yet. They still call us. They still say, do you need anything? Or, hey, we found out about this. Do you think that would be helpful to you? They haven't stopped.
You know, a lot of organizations, you're not sure, you know, you see ads on television and, you know, you send in your check and then you wonder, you know, is this really going to help somebody, or, you know, how will I know? Well, you're literally buying hope. I mean, if there was a way for you to buy hope for somebody, this is the way to do it. Because without this program, I don't know where I would be.